What a crazy day. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Techwood Solutions. I wanted to shed some light on some news that is being shared, but it's not fully being covered, in my opinion, correctly. So one of the big kind of things that some people are talking about is that Michael Burry, who's very popular for the big short, the housing bubble crash, took a short position on Palantir. He disclosed it, I would say, November of 2025. This is when Palantir was trading at highs of $200. You even had Alex Karp, who's the CEO of Palantir. This dude's like a crackhead if you've ever heard him speak on video. He doesn't really do much public speaking anymore because his stock is down 50%, but he just hated people who shorted his stock. Sure, right? I'm sure as your company is thriving and it might be reaching these overvalued levels, there's always the uncertainty of short sellers. But again, just as much as you're trying to make money on the way up and overhyping up your company and trading at that much of a premium, you can't be upset that people see there to be an opportunity, that as attention and momentum and hype begin to shift elsewhere, then this stock starts to crash. And then Alex Karp is kind of left looking like a fool. With that being said, the company's still incredibly successful. It's still growing at a very accelerated rate. It just was trading at a premium. He went on live and said he found it insane. He called Michael Burry batshit crazy for shorting Palantir. Michael Burry, to rumored have closed portion of his short position. Supposedly it was $912 million. PLTR has now dropped from 207 to 107. If you guys have not been paying attention to PLTR, PLTR is one of the worst performing stocks of 2026, right? So if you bought in late 2025, you probably bought at one of the worst times for Palantir. From overall highs, Palantir of 207 to current lows, it has lost 48% of its value. Now again, Palantir, very quickly, let's go ahead and make sure that we understand what this company is currently trading at. Typing it into Investing Pro, again, if you guys want to download and use this software, I use it all the time. It's to understand these companies fundamentally. It's the first link in the description down below if you want a discount. With that being said, very quickly, you could see that even after selling off how much it still has, based off of fair value analyst, more downside. If you look at the PE ratio, it's trading at 112 times its earnings. Isn't that crazy? It's still trading 112 times of what it actually makes and earns as a company, even after losing 50%. This stock was trading at 200 to 250 with a P ratio, right? That is how much of a premium you are paying. What exactly does that mean? Remember, it's the multiple of how much of a premium someone is willing to pay for your stock. So traditionally speaking, we can pull up kind of like the more rational, fundamentally valuable companies, right? Sound companies. Apple, right? Even after a sharp correction today, trades at 33 times its earnings. Not super low. And this is after a really sharp bull run. So not super low, but definitely not 103, right? You got NVIDIA at 29, right? These are very successful companies at the top of their class. Microsoft right now is incredibly low, but Microsoft is just getting absolutely destroyed recently. P ratio, 20.9 times its earnings. Again, not bad, right? When we look at Meta, obviously very different companies, 19.5 times its earnings. Historically speaking, 20 to 30 times their earnings, especially when you're trading to this type of degree of a company, it's not insanely overvalued. Palantir is trading at 112 after losing 50%. That's the crazy part. So think about that, the audacity that Alex Karp had in calling Michael Saylor batshit crazy for wanting to short what he viewed to be an overvalued company. I think it's batshit crazy that you encouraged people to want to invest in your company at 207, 250 times its earnings. Again, it's an opportunity. Your stock was being hyped up. It was a strong performing stock because, again, if you dive into it deeper, it is a really good performing company. It has accelerated growth. But guess what? There comes a point that still fundamentals do matter. I do agree that markets can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. So it's important to pay attention to the trend. But guess what? Unfortunately, what happened in 2026? We saw that really aggressive shift, even kind of late 2025. into AI and semiconductor companies, storage companies. That is where all the attention is now, not with Palantir. That is so last year. Isn't that crazy? How really nothing changed about this company. It's just the sentiment, the hype, the excitement. It's no longer really with Palantir. It's not that anything changed with Palantir. It was just pretty much squeezed out for all of its juice already. They're done with Alex Karp. And the price action for Palantir reflects it. Now again, Palantir is having one of its worst performing years, down nearly 50% from its all-time highs, while overall markets are incredibly bullish. What do you think is going to happen to Palantir if overall markets begin to sell off? Palantir is likely to sell off even further. Now, if markets begin to prop up even higher, then Palantir has the overall environment and the incubator effect to begin to uptick, maybe, right? But if you think that Palantir is cheap now, but you believe markets are likely to drop in the short term, maybe because the Federal Reserve is concerned about inflation or the labor market, or possibly raising rates is one thing that's projected for 2026, at least one rate hike in 2026, then again, I would be very careful with Palantir. I would be more open to the idea of investing in Palantir now than I would be at $200 investing, not trading, right? Investing as in long term, knowing that it could drop another 50% from $100. I wouldn't be surprised by that. Look at the P ratio. It would still be overvalued at a 50% drop from now. Isn't that crazy? But isn't that kind of cool to kind of talk about it now? Because now it doesn't sound so crazy. I made numerous videos about Palantir, and this was while it was running up. I have to give it its flowers, right? It was an incredibly hyped up company, but it is also a company that was growing at a very accelerated rate. The only thing that has now changed is its attention. The attention is no longer with Palantir. And because of that, now it no longer can carry that premium, that hype. It's still fundamentally a really good company. It took a leg of its own with the momentum. It became so insanely overvalued and so much of a premium that once opportunities began to present themselves that were simply more attractive, the new shiny toys in Wall Street, semiconductors, AI, right? SNDK, MU, AMD, the list goes on, INTC. Money poured into those assets, speculative still, and pulled out of this. All that changed was sentiment and attention. Isn't that so cool to kind of look back and be like, look, we were right. But it doesn't really matter about being right. It's about the timing. It really is. When does the sentiment change? And that's why I wanted to talk about that, because I thought that was so cool to kind of now look back. We all knew it was overvalued and overhyped up. The market sentiment just had to shift. It is an incredibly successful company. It's growing at a very accelerated rate. Again, I want to give flowers where it's due, but yes, it can still correct because it's still trading at a premium. It is a stock that I would love to maybe invest in one day, but guess what? I'm in no rush, and definitely based off of the current price action, it looks like, I have no reason to be, right? With that being said, again, there's just so much to talk about. You guys remember the news today that kind of drove markets aggressively in the red from green, and that was that Apple began raising their prices. Now Microsoft announced that its price hikes for Xbox devices due to memory chip costs just hours after Apple hiked up prices on MacBooks and iPads. What the hell? This is not what I had. I was not expecting this. That I thought AI was supposed to help all of us. Now you're saying that, right? Apple, I think, increased everything by like $200. Now it's $150, $100 increase. 150. Shoot. The over-investing that they're putting into all of this, right? Microsoft and Apple and Meta. It looks like it is getting passed down to consumers. That's interesting, right? This was not something that we expected. How will this impact consumers? How will this impact the overall market? Will the market like it or not? I'm excited to find out, but just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware. On top of that, some news that I thought was quite interesting. OpenAI was supposed to actually IPO this year. It was expected to. It filed to, right? But it looks like it's looking to maybe push its IPO day until 2027. Choppy markets. Again, not much enthusiasm right now. I think it's kind of learning from maybe the SPCX. But that's the thing. It's like, how long can you wait? How are you going to run out of money before you actually need to IPO? And how are the market conditions doing then? I would love to circle back to that. Again, timing the market in that sense, it's at least you still kind of have the irrational market sense right now. Will that happen if overall markets begin to sell off? I don't know. I don't know if there will be enough enthusiasm then, and then now you're more in a desperate spot where you might need money. But again, who knows how much it is that they actually have and how much they actually need. I thought this was really funny. MicroStrategy stock is now down 71% since Michael Saylor appeared at the cover of Ford. Very similar to Sam Bankman-Fried. Kind of like the same thing all over again. For those that do not know, Michael Saylor is one of the biggest fraudsters in financial markets. This is something that is being shared on X.com. He will eventually face criminal charges, file for bankruptcy, and spend the rest of his life behind bars. He is this era's version of Bernie Madoff. His playbook, which I exposed over the last 12 months, this is a guy that's pretty popular on X. You guys can feel free to look him up. That being said, it talks about the Ponzi loop, how he raises capital, he buys Bitcoin, he hypes up the price to raise more capital and repeat. That is the Ponzi loop. He dilutes his shareholders, borrow against them, makes shares out of thin air, dilutes you, borrows against that, uses that to buy Bitcoin, and then tells you to not sell your Bitcoin, but then he goes and sells his Bitcoin, causing Bitcoin to crash, then causing MSTR price to go down, and then now he owes STRC investors, the interest obligations, but now they're running out of money. Supposedly they just have a few months left of capital, but what if this, death spiral continues? I'm excited to find out. And again, I'll make sure that I do my part in keeping you guys up to date. Look at this. If there's ever something to invest in, STRC, STRF, we got STRD, STRK down 43%, BTC down 45, IBIT down 45, which is the 1-for-1 Bitcoin ETF, and then MicroStrategy down 78%. I love this one. There were signs. If you look at the outline of this, FCKED, get effed. Oh my goodness, I love it. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is, again, fundamentally a company that has not been performing well, but it is somewhat oversold. Still not performing well, but it's Nike. I know it's on a lot of people's radar. Just wanted to bring it up as, again, it's something that you might want to add to your watch list and maybe follow up with later. I don't know, again, if I'm the only one, but if you look at the overall NASDAQ market, there are signs of weakness. I feel like a lot of people are feeling very antsy. There's not much excitement. It's almost like, at least for the past 3 days, markets have felt very uncertain, very volatile. You guys let me know down in the comments section what you think. So where do we go from here? We watch our position size. We manage and mitigate risk appropriately and effectively more now than ever before. And we don't use leverage. I think that's a great way to approach the market right now when things are uncertain. Invest and trade whatever your heart desires. Just be intentional, be calculated, and don't use leverage. I'm really excited to see where the markets open up tomorrow in our live trading session tomorrow at Market Open. I hope to see you there. We have MU already down 3.5% during the extended hours. I would love to see semiconductor stocks begin to gap down. I would love to load up on some, and I think that there's enough uncertainty in the market that they can begin to. Obviously, it's Friday. Things don't necessarily have to play out this way, but if you zoom out on a lot of these semiconductor stocks, they are so insanely overvalued. They are so insanely overpriced in the short term that I would love to see a correction. But of course, we have to wait for direction and price action to follow, and then we can follow with appropriate shorts. So again, if you want to watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, I wanted to let you guys know you guys have up until tonight at midnight using promo code MSTR in celebration of MSTR crashing 50%. You can get nearly 50% off LPP 3.0 using promo code MSTR. Again, it's the second link in the description down below. You have to enter that promo code at checkout, MSTR, and it will get you $335 off. I want to remind you, LPP 3.0 is a one-time payment, lifetime access. We have members that signed up once back in 2018. They got all of the LPP updates to 2.0 and to 3.0 for free, and they still get to watch me trade live every day at no additional cost. We make it simple, we keep it simple, and we trade live every morning at Market Open. If you're ready to join us, second link in the description down below. If you're not ready, don't worry about it. Hopefully we earned your thumbs up, and please consider subscribing, and we'll keep you guys up to date. I appreciate your time like always. Let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.